just maybe just check people. I don't know if people, the last few have been at 8 o'clock, so maybe people have not seen the time change.
Well, they should. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. And we welcome Ambily, our guest for the episode 107. We will be discussing or learning about zero waste and greenwashing, which is rampant everywhere. And we must know how to differentiate between the real products or real helpful products, or and something that's just a whitewash, greenwash, or hogwash. So welcome, Ambili. Welcome to Wednesdays for Waste Warriors. Really happy to have you. And let me start with the first question. How did Ambili uh, get involved with waste, zero waste, and all this?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Anuja, for inviting me. I have seen a couple of your episodes, and when you sent me the invite, I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting this, but nonetheless, I'm here today. So thank you again. My journey started, I think, like most people, as a community volunteer. Like professionally, I'm an environmental engineer. That's what my background is. That's what I studied because I really, wanted to get into the environment space. And then, the initial years of my career, I was into consulting, and that's something I didn't really enjoy. I was not very passionate about, so I quit. And where from my college days itself, I was volunteering with children education. So I was part of a group called as MAD, or Make a Difference.
Yeah.
I was in back then, so I used to volunteer. I was part of the as I used to be English teacher. Then the community, they would have these. Classrooms and city leads and so on. So I was part of all that. So I was very sure that I wanted to get into the development sector, but didn't know the how. And then when I moved to Mumbai, I joined a not for profit. It was into healthcare, though that was not my specialization. But given the vision and mission of the organization, I found it very aligned to my values, not per se my expertise. I still joined them. And that's when like there were people in Bangalore especially, where waste volunteerism is really really high. Like we have Vani Murthy's and SWMRT. So I was following them. I was seeing what they are doing, and I started slowly doing that at my home, composting, started questioning the waste that I generate, and so on. And eventually started doing that in my own building, in the society, and then the neighboring societies, and so on. So it was a very natural move for me. Even I studied environmental engineering. I studied solid waste management from a prestigious institute in India, but I'm very unfortunate to say that what I studied were very age old ideas and practices that should not be preached in a school, right? So I didn't use any of those learnings, and rather learned everything while doing. And in this whole course, I also met Dr. Lata from RNSAG. I know you have invited her also as your guest, and we connected because we both were living in the same city, and we felt the same problems. And then we started working on different projects that RNSAG was doing. I was very actively involved. I was like one of the founding team member, like joined one of the first to join them. And then as I started working in the space, I got more passionate. And then 4 years back, I joined Gaia,
Mhm.
which is a global alliance for incinerator alternatives. It's an organization most of the people in India would not know.
Mhm.
So I'll just briefly tell you what Gaia is and what they do. So Gaia is a network-based organization. At present, we have 800 or so grassroots organizations which are part of Gaia's membership, and they all are like not-for-profit organizations, and some are individuals also. And this is across 90 countries. And the whole aim is, how do we catalyze a movement towards building a zero waste world, right? While respecting ecological limits, community rights, environmental justice, all that. So by the name itself, you would know it's an anti-incineration alliance. So it is the only anti-incineration alliance in the world, and this came in 25 years back. This year we are celebrating our 25th year, and the reason was, late 90s, early 2000. There were a lot of companies who started coming in and started selling incinerators to Asia, Africa, and so on. And that's when some of the activists working on environmental toxins and generally, chemicals and so on, they came together and they said that, this is something that would not work for, poorer countries. Back then we were very poor, right? So it would not work for countries like us. A, it's very costly, and B, it is toxic. It will generate more toxins, and therefore we should come together and create a force and say that this is not a problem for waste management. There are better solutions, and that is what we are advocating. How do we push against incinerator, and how do we promote zero waste solutions? So that's when this network was formed. And as I said, we have 100 plus organizations just in Asia. And together we're creating a movement of anti-incineration and promoting the right zero waste that we want for the future. Not something, like not just zero waste lifestyle, but a systemic zero waste, where we have decentralized waste management, where we have waste pickers being part of the system, where incineration is a no-no, where we hold producers accountable, and so on. So yes, that's a summary of about me and the work.
This is intriguing that you said the organization is celebrating 25 years this year. And you also said before that not many people know about it. Just imagine when something is formed for the larger good,
yes,
and many people don't know about it. So those are the kind of gaps that we are all experiencing, and they exist, they are real. Thank you for sharing this, because it's very important. Wednesdays for Waste Warriors is not just about taking a message from here and delivering it to the audience. It's also about information, it's also about education, it's also about unlearning what they have and learning new things or best practices. So you spoke about, you mentioned zero waste lifestyle versus zero waste as a process, or as a, as an entire system. So would you like to elaborate a little bit more? Because I would say people still, urban people, still think that zero waste lifestyle, that's it. The beyond picture, that's what we would like them to understand.
Right, sure. So, very rightly said, as an individual, what everyone can do or think they can do is to live a zero waste lifestyle. That means ensure that their waste is segregated, or take the next step of composting their organics, ensuring that their dry waste goes for recycling, minimizing their consumption, and so on. Now, all this is very good, and we should be definitely doing that, but that would not be enough, right? We still need changes at the systemic level, and for that there are different pillars. One is, we need good infrastructure. Like, even if you segregate, if your city municipality does not manage the waste well, then it collapses there itself, right? If you're unable to compost at home, or you cannot recycle, right? You yourself cannot. Max you can do is separate your waste so that it can be sent for recycling. But if is no infrastructure available, then it would collapse. So we need, firstly, the first pillar is infrastructure, wherein decentralized waste management can happen. Now, why decentralized is important is that we need to ensure that our waste does not travel far away, right? It is very much possible that my waste management happens within my own ward, right? It does not need to go outside the city itself. And the centralized waste management that is very prevalent in European nations, in Western nations, uh, should not work in countries like India, because lesser you travel, the distance your waste travel, the footprint would also be lesser. So we need decentralized waste management centers where the segregated waste, organic waste, could be composted or made into biogas. The dry waste could be further segregated into different categories by waste pickers, so that it could be sold to a recycler, how much ever can be recycled. Unfortunately, majority of the dry waste, like a lot of the dry waste, is now becoming non-recyclable in India. So that's another thing that I'll talk about later. So that's one infrastructure that we need. We need collection system. We need door-to-door collection of waste from our households, segregated waste from our households. Segregation has to be the generator's responsibility. Then that infrastructure is, we need that infrastructure where decentralized waste management can happen. Next is, we need policies, right? Even if you try to reduce your consumption or ensure that your waste is segregated, there are still a lot of things that is beyond your control, right? Single-use plastic ban. Because of this, what government is trying to ensure is that a lot of plastics which is unnecessary could be eliminated from the system, right? Again, I would not say that it is the best single use ban out there, but we need to also ensure that we eradicate or remove unnecessary materials from our life. Our whole system should not be designed for disposability. That's the constant thing I keep saying. Despite all the innovations happening in the waste management space, despite a lot of good work happening, we are still not able to solve our problem. Is one of the reason is because our system is still designed for disposability. Acha, ye bag nahi chal raha, let's bring it, replace it with another bag, right? If we continue to do that, we will not come out of it, right? So that's the problem. So we need good policies which hold producers accountable. If Unilever is continuously producing multi-level
Yeah.
MLPs, right, then we need to ensure that they stop or they change their packaging to a recyclable packaging or move to reuse, right? So that it is not municipality or my problem that, oh, I wanted to consume that shampoo, but because the shampoo is now available in an MLP pack, I have generated that waste, and the municipality has also generated that waste, and they do not know what to do about it, right? So we need good policies as well. So infrastructure is one, policy is one, and people. We need to ensure that it is community led, and that's why we are against incineration, because incineration just takes away taxpayers' money. It's a huge investment and does not consult the public. It just happens. Whereas when you have a community led waste management, the citizens are involved. The waste pickers in our country who live, who've been historically collecting waste, but they need to be integrated into the system. They cannot be just going to scrap landfills and picking the waste. They need to be formally integrated. They should have ID cards, they should have a good standard of living, and so on. So we need these three pillars. Only then we can ensure that waste could actually be managed. It would no longer be a waste management, but rather resource management. And all this, like once you have compost, then you create gardens where you can grow food and so on. So it that's when it becomes more circular, which we talk about. So we need lifestyle, yes, but we need to also ensure that the companies, the municipalities, all of these people also have a role, and that's where the whole systems come into place.
Yeah. And unfortunately, for a place like Pune, where we had this informal waste pickers formalized in a system like Swatch, and they've been talked about. They've been really doing well, but I I feel sad that now the Pune Municipal Corporation is deciding, or the talks are in, that they will not have Swatch and they will bring in Indoor's model. So living in Pune, whoever lives in Pune knows that Pune is so not ready for so many things. There is no segregation itself, people have not learned or mastered. So, what about the next things, So, that's the thing that worries me. Today, we have a group called My Waste, My Responsibility, and we have people from all over the country. And there was this discussion about uh, waste to energy plants today, and that was going on. And Fabian actually said that, okay, in the evening during the session, I hope that some of those points are covered. But that's exactly what is happening. A technology for which the people are not ready, the system and the infrastructure is not ready. We are still dumping, like in Delhi and so many WTE, they have been dumping because of the volume, the wet, and because it makes it heavy, and burning it, and people are suffering because of that toxic air pollution. So this is how we are dealing with it. What do you think needs to be changed or done better, or what needs to be done there?
It's a hard question because despite ample evidence that waste to energy incinerator is a bad idea, it's not even working now in countries like Singapore and Europe, which have been talking high about it. And that's when, like bureaucrats from India would go to these countries, visit the plants, and then they get these fancy ideas that maybe we should also have such technologies back home. But it's failing even there. So let's not talk about, how disastrous the technology is for a country like India. And we have seen that in Delhi. We have Fabian here, who has been part of the group which has been, protested against this technology in Okla. And there are talks that it will soon come in Mumbai. Chennai is already struggling. So Bangalore. So the problem is that, despite the fact that it is polluting, despite the fact that it is a huge investment, not just the investment to set up the capital, but also the running cost is very, very, very high. Third is, it would not just, your waste will not just disappear in the air. You know, in our country, the regulations are so weak that even the Okla one and the recent Chennai one, we have evidence that the dioxin level, the cadmium level were much, much higher than the WHO prescribed standards, right? So this like how every time a new technology or waste to energy promoter comes, incinerator promoter comes, he just says, no, this time our technology is better, our pollution controls are much better. It's very difficult, and you need that regular monitoring. That's expensive, and being in India, it is very flawed. These things does not happen. So all this, and the worst thing is, our waste is majorly wet waste, right? First you have to dry this waste, right? You are solving the problem that people are not segregating, and hence we need incinerators. That is the thing that is repeatedly been by Mumbai, Gujarat, and so on. And their answer is, people are not segregating, so we can't do this composting and other things. So this solution seems best for us, that mixed waste gets incinerated. You need more temperature, right? First you are drying everything, and then you are burning. And of course, when you burn, you release all these toxic things, and you are somewhat caught in a debt trap, right? You have to be paying these companies for your lifetime, because that much expensive are these technologies, and then they just don't work, and they end up costing huge to the municipality. And as I said, they're polluting. And the air is polluting, as well as after it burns, the ash is also there. So you need a landfill for the ash also, because ash again becomes very toxic if you just throw it in a dump site. It needs proper technology so that the ash could be buried. So all that, we are not ready. We do not need this. Yes, it is difficult for a population like our country, to ensure that everyone segregates. But if we just give up and say that this is not possible, then, I mean, we are giving it up too soon. We are just telling all the people who have all these years tried achieving source segregation in their community, in their society. You're just failing them that this is not possible. So I don't think it is the ignorance of municipalities. It's mostly red tapeism, the money that they get when they sign such contracts. It's not that they are ignore. It's not that they do not know. It's just that they do not want to know.
Yeah, that was the first greenwashing that's happening. And when people say that WTE is not incineration, I'm like, 1 million heart attacks in 1 second. What else it is? What else are they doing in India? They are just burning, and burning is called incineration. What beautification do you want in terms of words and abbreviations that you don't want to, like, you're in denial? So my
The
child
freedom
is
is
not.
whatever whatever glitters is not gold.
Yeah.
It sounds very shiny and fancy, and we feel if Europe can have, so can we. No, we should not, right? And that's the thing. And every time they come up with new terms: incineration, gasification, pyrolysis, and I don't know what not. Like every time I meet someone, they have a new term. And maybe yes, you're working on the technology, but look at the context also, right? What works in a lab may not work when you actually put that like India, right? So there is a huge mismatch, and of course, our country cannot afford such kind of technology. So it's sad, and the problem is nowadays, if you see, there are these incinerators to manage sanitary waste. No, there
Yeah.
are these incinerators kept in the school. The school they provide vending machine for sanitary pads, and then next to it they have kept these small scale incinerators for managing the sanitary waste. Yes, I know sanitary waste is a problem. We do not have a solution. But Procter and Gamble and other companies who are making Whisper and the likes, they are not bothered. Nobody is holding them accountable. It is us who are facing the problem, and we are thinking, array, so much of sanitary waste, what to do? And then you put on these technologies. Now, these technologies, again, they don't burn at the right temperature. And imagine this incinerator is in the school. The children are breathing day in, day out that toxic fumes which is being released every time the incinerator is put on. So, like, that breaks my heart that A is the bigger incinerator that we're talking at the city level, but then there are also these small incinerators which are just coming, and everyone is just sponsoring them as a CSR project.
Absolutely. I'm so happy that you brought that, Ambily, because we have an experience. Uh, One of our members who works in Chennai, she went to a school, and like, we talk about sustainable menstruation, and she went there to talk to them. So the teachers and the older girls told them about this bathroom, which was again the same grade, the same floor as the classes were. And she said that there is this incinerator for the napkins, but that doesn't work. And when it used to be burnt, of course, it requires that certain degree and all that stuff. So it used to give such a bad smell that people used to just open the door, throw it, and then now nobody even uses that toilet. Nobody is willing to go inside and use that toilet. So just imagine, I'm so against this promoting incineration for menstrual like sanitary pads, because the stink, I've experienced that. although it was far away from me, but I just could not. It was so nauseating that to smell it, and it was an open. But imagine in closed doors, it would be just so horrible. And when CSR and all these people, good people who want to do good, and unfortunately, unknowingly, or don't know with what uh, reason they make that decision to sponsor that for free, they don't know what they're getting into because they don't have it in their bathroom. Unless they experience it, you don't know. It's not tried and tested, and you're just giving it away because it is for someone else, maybe needy people. Why do needy communities or poor people need horrible solutions? Why? So, this is again, thank you for bringing it up because it was on my list that this does not work. Then again, for plastic, burning, the other name that you said, pyrolysis. It is burning, I'm sorry to say. And I don't support any such organizations that do that. And we have like huge, kind of collection drives and send it to this. And then they argue, no, no, that is not burning. They are creating biofuel out of that. So I just don't understand, but I'm so happy that I was thinking on the right track. I appreciate your inputs. Now, yes, Fabian, you want to say something? Yeah, of course, savvy and cool and all of that. So, no, but it doesn't work. I don't support it. And that's why we tell people that menstrual cups are more, you can use it, it's reusable. You can at least go for it for because girls don't want to wash cloth napkins. So, think about it. Whoever can wash and reuse, yes, go ahead. But we need to have those. Burning is not an option. Thank you so much. It is going great. Now, there are so many other. I don't know. The list is endless. So when you see this green uh, leaf on any packaging, the first connection is wow, eco-friendly. They are so good. They are doing good. And then they themselves, the packaging color changes to green. So that means green matlab sab kuch acha hai. Everything is good when it's green. But it does not. So could you please share something about this?
Like it's funny because I'm also someone who is very passionate about my health and what I eat, exercise and so on. So like and I see I can draw parallels between the food industry and like the plastic industry, right? Because if you see plastic health industry or food industry, they just say ki ragi biscuit, right? And then when you turn the packet and see the ingredients, 2% would be ragi. Okay, baki sab maida hoga. And exactly the same plastic industry will say, a green bag, biodegradable bag, compostable bag, oxo-degradable bag, and whatnot bags. And suddenly your garbage bag, which was black in color, has a new cousin, green in color. And, everyone is like, yay, I am practicing something sustainable, which is good for the environment. And I would choose this. So it's like, I feel like in our industry, we need the right people who should know how to marketing and communication, because these people are in those industries, right? Like the way that they are able to, I wouldn't say fool people, but with the nicest packaging and with the nicest marketing that these guys are able to do, till food farmer became very popular, right? Like now he is a very known figure, and his videos are circulated on WhatsApp, and so people would not read labels, right? And the same is the problem with plastic, right? I tell people what is the benefit that you're getting by getting a oxo-degradable or biodegradable bag. Ultimately, you're wrapping it, your waste and throwing it, right? And now nobody has, like in a landfill, nobody's going to open and take your waste out.
Absolutely.
To me, any kind of garbage bag feels like a way for you to hide that I am not segregating, right? If I put anything in that bag, green or black, nobody is able to see if I have mixed waste in it or wet waste in it. So, that was one campaign that we did back in our society 8, 9 years back, when we were like, we don't need garbage bag. Your dustbin does not need a clothing, right? Like, put a paper at the least, and then put the waste and give it and wash it, right? Like, it's there's nothing yucky about your wet waste, right? It is, after all, like, if you have food in your house which has gone bad, won't you wash that container, or will you just throw it ki are ganda hai? No, we will wash, right? It's same as with the peels, right? Like, most peels and everything were there in that container. Now, what's the big harm in washing? So we don't need those unnecessary garbage bags, which is just an attempt for someone to hide their act, and and say that I may not be segregating, and the greens and the others are just a feather in the cap. They just make you think that you are doing something good, but you are not, because they are designed to be composted or degraded in a certain industrial condition. It will not degrade in a natural environment like a dump site, right? It will never degrade. It will remain in that form. So it is a gimmick by the industry to make you think that it is something that they are doing good for the environment, and just they're just they're wrapping the old wine in a new bottle kind of a thing. They're just doing the same. And other thing I feel is the way the 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 food industry, right? Like, how they have made us think कि glucose biscuit खाओगे तो बच्चे के लिए बहुत अच्छा है, your child will grow into a healthy child, and so on. And they touch you emotionally. You feel like, if I give my child Parle-G, I am actually giving him or her a healthy food.
G for genius.
And same goes for brands, right? If you see nowadays, there are so many ads where the child is picking the MLP package and putting in their pockets and saying that I'm saving the environment. Array, something that you have to do. You are shifting the responsibility to the consumer. Yes, consumer needs to segregate, but you are saying that just by collecting that waste that the child is doing, you are doing everything good. The problem isn't you. Your packaging is so poor that it is littering the environment, and the child has to pick it up, right? And you are not changing the packet, and just with your advertisement, you're putting all the attention that, oh, Britannia is making sure that children are aware of the fact that they need to recycle or collect the packaging. The whole narrative they are able to shift, right? Everything they shift to कंज्यूमर्स और सिटीजन्स की, आप देखो ये तो आपका काम है, हमने तो एड बना लिया, हमने ग्रीन पैकेजिंग कर ली. सो दैट इज एग्जैक्टली व्हाट वी नीड टू, as citizens, as consumers, need to start questioning, need to start thinking that enough is enough. You change the packaging. I am not I will do what I should be doing, but everything is not possible in my capacity. You need to change your packaging. You need to ensure that you put in money, right? So that you collect these stupid waste, and so on. No waste picker picks those MLP package. Why? Because it's so lightweight. It is so many. How many times will they bend down and pick it? It's such a waste of time, and there is no money for it because it doesn't get recycled. So the problem is with them, and we think we should reduce. Yes, we should reduce our consumption. If you can avoid chocolates and chips, that's great, but everyone will not be able to do it. So who is the problem maker here? It is the company. It is them who needs to change the packaging, and only if people put pressure on these companies will they change. Otherwise they'll just say that we are moving into sustainability path, 2050 we will be net zero and whatnot. These are all just commitments on the paper. Unless they do anything in reality, means sending plastic wrappers to a cement kiln or for incinerators, we are thinking that we have done the job, but still the problem remains the same, right? This plastic is now burning and is going up in the air. So we need to start demanding these corporates that unless you don't change the packaging, we will not buy us. We need like a major campaign against them so that they are so pressurized that they change it. Even if you see SUP ban, right? No MLP is there. All these chota mota things which small vendors use, the plastic thela and plastic spoons, small vendors who've been using, that is banned. But not a single MLP is banned. Why? Because these companies have, they play their power card. They try to weaken the regulations because they are so powerful. They have so much money. So it's such a rugged system out there that, but I feel unless, like, nowadays citizens are very conscious, very aware, very woke, and this is the time that we can all come together and put pressure on them, because there is a limit to what we can do, what the municipality can do.
Yeah.
And for anything else, they need to change. And for that to happen, we need to put the pressure on.
Bilkul, I agree with you, because this is what, this is the time, this is the right time. Actually, it was the right time was yesterday. We are already late, but we must do this. We cannot wait for someone else to do. वो करेंगे ना, वो तो बहुत petitions निकालते हैं, वो निकालेंगे तब I will sign and I will forward to 5-10 people, my job is done. That's not the way. I remember someone telling me about in Japan, women got together when their water bodies were filled with toxins. They created this movement about not to use the the washing detergent or the laundry detergent which had those things, and it was a
Hmm.
very successful movement. When we talk about promoting bioenzymes, okay, सबसे पहला
Hmm.
क्वेश्चन है, साफ होगा क्या, will it clean,
Hmm.
कैसे,
Hmm.
but it's so dirty, it's made out of the old peels, how can it clean? So you want chemicals in your life, but you talk about
Hmm.
chemical free life. You
Hmm.
cannot survive without food colors and added this and added that and whatever, but you talk about healthy lifestyle. Then it's everything is like just false claims, and then that's when we talk about कि अरे वो तो बड़ा healthy है, but जिम से वापस आने के बाद वो अपना शुगर लेडन प्रोटीन शेक पी रहा है जिसके अंदर क्या क्या है, और उसके बाद में वो स्नैक में मार्जरीन और क्या क्या लगा के, मतलब processed food, and when they fake it as healthy, it is really hell. And the biggest praise are our children. So greenwashing is not just some concept, it is actually impacting our health, our generation, our future. So we need to take it seriously. And like you said, the biscuit ke packet, that's just one example. उसके अलावा there are so many other things जिसके ऊपर green washing होती है, like the sanitary napkin, how is it white, bleach, how does it have the perfume for smell, तो वो सब क्या है, those are chemicals going in your body, but convenience. And then now people say कि अब तो इतनी आदत पड़ गई है ना convenience की, तो अब कैसे करेंगे, there has to be a better option. Now what can be better option, Ambili, tell me. Taking care of your health or succumbing to all this?
But that's the thing that we tell the companies. And companies' answer is, it's so convenient, right? कि अभी गरीबों के पास 500 ml बॉटल खरीदने का पैसा नहीं है शैम्पू का. So that's why we give them ₹1 का Sunsilk shampoo, right, in a sachet. And that's the whole marketing that they did, to say that there are a lot of poor who cannot afford larger bottles, and therefore we were giving things in a smaller size. Now these smaller sizes are the problematic things, right? And one of the thing that we are advocating for is reuse, right? Imagine like how the milkman and others used to work, even the dabba wala for that matter. Ki the shampoo comes in your house. What I need is shampoo. That should be
Yeah.
chemical free and all that. Now there, I don't need that packaging, because as soon as I open the shampoo or finish the shampoo, I just toss the packaging into my dustbin. But what they should, what we are advocating for is, can it be a reusable one? कि मैंने फेंका, Now it goes into the decentralized waste management center material recovery facility where the material is recovered. It gets washed, it gets sterilized, goes back to the company, and the shampoo is filled again, right? So you're using the same bottle for 10 times, 15 times, whatever. Like, again, and the plastic has to be very good quality plastic, because if you use poor quality plastic, it will not last even three or so cycles. So this is one thing that we feel, that single use, that disposability problem might solve. See, we will not be able to change everything, but this is one step which is easier, which is doable, and which is something that we think the companies should do. Because I don't need their packaging, I only need their product. Yes, their product is also, I would say, fully chemically laden, but for everyone else, if they still want to use a Unilever shampoo, why don't you give me in this format? Why do I have to think कि अरे अब मेरा waste packaging कहाँ जाएगा? Why does then my packaging goes to a cement processing field where it gets burned? Why can't you instead give me, because all I need is the packaging. The same thing happens in a beer, like a beer sector. So if you see all the beer bottles that we get, right, like whatever the company, they all are looking similar. They all are in those green bottles, whichever brand you choose. And that happens because glass recycling is very difficult. So what they try to do is they try to collect these bottles, and then they wash it, sterilize it, and fill the beer again, so that the beer can be used, the same bottle can be used the next time. And we feel the same should happen for all the packaging around. We are not responsible for your dirty packaging. We don't want to toss something. You should create a packaging which you can take it back. Now, for instance, a lot of these Amazon packaging. Imagine if the instead of those pack, we just get the product in a dabba, right? And then they deliver the product and they take away the dabba, right? So that I don't have that Amazon wrapper every time. So
Yes.
these are some of the things that they can do instead of innovating कि अरे अभी इस रैपर को कैसे जलाए, और या इस रैपर से हम क्या बनाए. I mean, those innovations are good, but they are temporary solutions. I don't want my every waste to become a product or something. I don't want the waste to come in the first place itself. Can you not reduce? We talk about reduce, reuse,
Yeah.
recycle, right? The recycle comes very
Last.
niche. So why can't you avoid the waste at all places? Like if there is no Amazon packaging, I just get my product, then I don't have any Amazon packaging to throw away, right? And nobody has to think कि उसको cement plant में भेजना है, जलाना है, क्या करना है. So if we altogether avoid that packaging, if we altogether have all shampoo bottles, irrespective of brand, if they start looking alike, then once it gets collected, washed, sterilized, then whichever brand can fill it, right? Because shampoo, Sunsilk ho ya Pantene ho, they all would look alike. So the same bottle will come back and it can be filled and sent to the consumer again. It will make, it will make or reduce the waste so much of our individuals, and it would reduce the responsibility of a municipality so much, because they don't have to deal with any more those single use packaging, because they just don't know what to do with it. It's non recyclable.
Yeah, something like what's about to happen to the charger, the cables, because of all these, that
Yeah,
uniformity के कारण e-waste बढ़ते जा
exactly.
रहा है. So
Exactly.
that must be done because it's nonsense. आपका charger चले जाता है, then there are fake
Hmm.
chargers. So how much, हर घर में कम से कम I think 20 charging cables पड़े होंगे किसी ड्रॉर में कहीं पे कोने में, because now they don't work. अगर एक यूनिफॉर्म यूनिवर्सल तरीका है तो फिर वो चार्ज कर सकता है कुछ भी चीज. दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट नीड्स टू हैपन. यू कैन सेल योर
Bang on.
प्रोडक्ट.
Universal is the word. Universal, right? Like all shampoo bottles should look alike. All chargers should be the same. No matter I'm using Samsung, OnePlus, oh yeah, the charger should be same. Similarly, all so that uh, ऐसा, क्योंकि अगर सेम नहीं होगा ना, तो बार बार मुझे यूनिलीवर के पास ही भेजना पड़ेगा. अब ये अगर सेम होगा, तो I can send the packaging to anyone, and then anyone can fill the product in it and sell it to the consumer, just like how beer industry works. We need to do that. It's it is high time that we stop thinking about how should we manage the wrappers, and instead think about how do we avoid wrappers in the first place.
Yeah. So if they have that thing about unique, what is my USP? So is packaging the only USP you have? Then it's really sad. Like I remember there used to be kids shampoo thing which used to have that crown kind of cap, and the characters and foam and all that, yellow color, blue color, pink color. Then Frozen was released. Then you had everything in Elsa and all those things. So okay, we understand that that is a different target audience altogether. But then general, if you want to help poor people, then and they have 5 people in their house who will shampoo at least once a week, so sachet is not the solution, definitely. Then you need to create something else if you genuinely are talking about poor people. But no, that's not the intention. So I traveled in a train, and this is what I saw. Okay, this bag, Indian Railway has this now.
Oh,
And this material is, of course, not cotton. You can see.
yeah.
And shopkeepers, people argue, अरे कपड़े का तो है, कपड़े का तो है. And I always tell them कि ये देखो कपड़े का होता तो ऐसे नहीं फट जाता. But if Indian Railway is doing this and making it brown, which is the other color for eco-friendly, पहले उनके पास पेपर थे, right? तो what should we do now? And I just kept this bag because I wanted to show it to people that देखो ये भी greenwashing है. एंड इट इज सो सैड दैट अब ये सब लोग करने लग गए हैं बड़े बड़े लेवल पर. लेकिन लोगों को समझाना है, पीपल हु जॉइन, पीपल हु अंडरस्टैंड कि क्या है. लाइक यू सेड, जो कंपोस्टेबल बैग आई सॉ इन चेन्नई, एवरीवेयर कंपोस्टेबल बैग, एंड पीपल यूज इट विद ग्रेट प्राइड कि वी यूज ओनली कंपोस्टेबल बैग. एंड आई सेड ओके, डू यू हैव यू एवर कंपोस्टेड इट? Said, no, no, no. We put it in the dustbin and they take it. I said, then where does it go? Does it get composted with the kachra? We don't know. But there is a scanner, and you have to, and there's a very tiny little, type sentence there, that methyl something solution, you have to put this and then it will. So who reads that or who does that? It is not, I am not a compostable bag. ऐसे लिखना चाहिए उसमें, but I am a compostable bag वो लिखा होता है. So we have to hold them accountable for what they are doing. And it's like blatant lie. Not even misguiding or misleading or any of that. Blatant. So are there any regulations, because we need to understand कि ऐसा कुछ है that people can call, report, and if they see any such things?
Unfortunately, I have not come across anything, but if you have, do let me know. But I think what small things that activist people like us and the members with whom we work at Gaia, what we do is, for instance, if there is any draft notification regulation that come in, right? Like early this year, there was a revision in the solid waste management rules, or there was a new EPR for paper, metal, and sanitary waste. So and then the ministry gives 60 days or so for the citizens or for public to provide their comments. So that is one way where we try to push, where we try to ensure that the kind of text, the wordings that we want, what we do not want, all that we do, and then we try to endorse, right? Like the last thing that we sent, we had endorsement from 200 organizations itself, who said that this is the kind of draft notification or regulation that we want. We don't want all of these things. For instance, they were saying that we need incinerators for sanitary waste. That came very clearly in the draft regulation for sanitary waste management on EPR. Now, yes, we want companies who are producing Whisper and the likes that they take responsibility of the sanitary waste. But if they are setting up incinerator for this, then we are doomed, right? Like you are solving a problem with another problem. Like it's just it sometimes feels like they do not use their brains to think of a solution for it. Instead they should have asked the companies that that they will ensure that they will take it, right? Like not burn it, they will take it. At least that way, when we segregate the waste into three, it is not municipalities problem anymore that how do I manage it. It is now companies problem to ensure that they take it. And then also they need to, obviously that is something that they will never do, or switching to reusables. But so we need to ensure that they pay money for the collection of sanitary waste, right? It is a huge money that the today we have to segregate into three ways. So three categories has to be made. All this money municipalities only is doing, right, from the taxpayers' pocket. But if the company would all do this, then it would make sense. So what I'm trying to say is that these people, industry is very smart, right? They will write things which they don't want us to know in fine print. 1%, 2% ragi would be written at the back. You would never see. What you said, what that bag is made of, they would write it in the smallest font possible so that nobody ever pays attention to that. And what they want you to see, they will just write, I am oxo-degradable bag, or whatever. And that makes you feel good about it. So like in the food industry, where they are actively saying front of the package label that ragi, whatever constitute ingredients, should come in the front in big font and all that. Similarly, in the this sustainability industry also, we need to ensure that these things are very clear on what it is made of, how it is made of, what is the process of composting it. If you're saying it is a compostable bag, tell the citizens how it needs to be composted at home, right? All these things need to be there. Only then these false solutions, this is what we call in our language false solution, are solution by them, but we think it's not solution, so hence it's a false solution. All these false solutions should go away, and the only way to do that is once these kind of regulations come, then they know, right? They are caught. Then they know that they cannot put things like how to compost the waste, because they know that it can't be composted at home. So these kind of things should be pushed. And I'll tell you, the thing that you talked about Japan, we are seeing now such cases in India also. In Gujarat, the I think in Ahmedabad, they were very keen on having the waste to energy incinerator. The citizens came together, they formed a loose alliance called as Alliance for Against Incinerator from Gujarat. And then they did a lot of social media campaigning. They produced a lot of evidence from how incinerators does not work in Chennai, Delhi, and so on. And then the bank which was financing this incinerator, they it was a huge pressure on them,
Yes.
and then they decided that they will not fund that project, and the project collapsed, right? The incinerator is not coming there. So there is a huge power in citizen, because reputation matters a lot to brands, to banks, whoever. So if they see that they are doing something unethical and people are calling them out, they will not do it.
Yeah, I like, while you were speaking, I think this feel good, making people or making consumer feel good about doing something for the environment, for the community, for their health, for sustainability. That is what they have caught on. And they have the big budgets to pay all the biggest agencies and, make the films and all of that. So the promotion is really, they have tamed the monster. And we have to do with all these small gatherings and then try to promote ourselves. So there's no competition. Of course, big budgets speak louder, but we'll try our best to do what we are doing.
I think the only thing when I do a session with children or with citizens, I'm like, ask, ask.
Yes.
कहाँ से आया है, कितना है रागी, क्यों है healthy, क्यों है green? Ask these questions and slowly you will get answers, right? I think all of our journey started like that. We started questioning things. We started questioning our waste footprint, our carbon footprint, everything. And then we were like, okay, maybe this is something I can improve on, or maybe this is something that, they are making me think I'm doing good, but I am not actually, right? So we need, we have, I think in the adulthood, we have kind of stopped doing that. We tend to kind of very openly have faith in these bigger brands ki jo bhi wo de rahe acha hi hoga, and then Instagram and all these things are there, which is making things more attractive. But just every time you buy something, be it food or anything, or even a green product, ask why it is being sold to you, and what is the good it is actually doing to it. Use it really. And then once you start, answering these questions, once you start uncovering, once you have a community around you, you will slowly feel that, you will get that power or understanding of what is right and what is not. And then you will be able to make decisions on your own. And then, you gang up against these big bad people. Yes, we are very, very small in comparison to these bigger brands. We are nothing but, as I said, I am hopeful because I am seeing day in, day out such cases where these bigger brands are being called out, and then they're saying, okay, we will change, or, we will do this, or we will do that. So they are making that change or difference, but only when citizens pressurize them, and citizens pressurize the bureaucrats, and then bureaucrats have to ensure that this happens, and so on. So
Yeah.
we have the power. We just need to utilize that.
We have to come together. That unity is missing in all this. And last year I remember H&M had this thing. They always projected themselves as very sustainable. They do this, they do that, and then there were videos about what is not happening correct. Then Germany was saying that they manage their waste 95%, सब कुछ अच्छा हो रहा है, and then those things came out कि क्या हो रहा है. So don't fall for those claims. Whenever someone's claiming something, you must have that antenna ki, oh, acha, let me figure out ki kaise ho raha hai. Just show me how is it happening. Like you said, why is the most important question. And if you don't ask why, how, what, वो तो खैर अलग चीज है, but why is that reason the purpose? Why are you eating that glucose biscuit? Why are you eating that ragi thing? Because you want something. But if you're not getting it, it's fake, totally fake. And in the garb, you're getting more sugar, more cholesterol, this fat, that fat, then you're cheated. You're paying a price. And plus, for all these good things, you pay a premium. So it's like no win-win situation. You lose. So there is economics also involved in that. It's your budget that's going for a toss.
Yeah.
Sustainability is only for the rich and it's expensive. That's what people say because of this. Because all those sustainable green things are expensive. So why is the question that people have to start asking? Very, very, very rightly said, Ambily. And we are like close to the end of this conversation. I didn't even realize it, but thank you so much. There are so many other greenwashing के points जो हमने अभी तक बात नहीं किए. But if anyone has any questions, आज तो वो भी पूछने का time नहीं मिला. If anyone has any questions, please do ask before we wind up. And then I would like to ask you to share something that is like a mantra or a nugget of wisdom that they can practice. We all can practice. Anyone has any questions? Yes, please do.
Hi. It was nice hearing you both out. And coincidentally, from morning, we've been talking about greenwashing in our own circles. And the main, there's no question as such I have, but just wanted to share this. In terms of the different products, of course, we have many issues with many products, but I think packaged water is becoming a very big issue, and it is going to become a very big issue in the coming time. So two instances of greenwashing, which we were, talking about is one, this celebrity Bhumi Penekar. She with her sister has launched Back Bay Aqua, I think, and the kind of positioning they are doing for that product is like, the waters from a glacier melt from a reservoir in the Himalayas. And the words, the choices of words, just like you both said, it is so appealing that anybody will go for that. And see, I also work with a lot of senior citizens who are very interested to know, the ones who are just retired also, because they want to do something. So I always say, I think perspective setting is more important first rather than doing something. So, and the second thing is, I think there's a product called Caro Water, which has been launched. And, all these packaging materials, when they call it bag in a box, BIB, it's so funny. It's all about just on the outside, it is paper, but actually inside is either aluminium or 20% plastic. And multi-layer packaging can never be recycled. It's again the same issue. And the tap or a cap is all plastic again. So I think, it is packaged water something for years I've been saying, please don't buy, just take a bottle. I think we all been saying that. And we have a very big fight because then water is anyway listed as a commodity. And we are having we're going to have a big issue around it. So I think I today decided that for, doing a bigger, whatever, having a bigger word around water, packaged water, we need to say no to it because, and as you said, it's like for the rich to pay, because the more packaged and beautiful and, these words and, how it looks, it will be expensive.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very.
And a very, very pertinent point, because if you see starting next week, it's Ganpati, and one trend that I'm seeing in small household level events is you go, they will just hand you chotu chotu 100 ml bottles, right? Everyone is giving away these bottles. It's become so common. Nobody's offering you water in a glass. Everyone is handing out those small 100 ml, 200 ml bottles, which is, people might sometimes just take a sip and keep it away. Like, so much of bottle is wasted. Like, there is water. I mean, the amount of resource that gets wasted is unimaginable. I don't know. I mean, yes, we do not have good quality water that is available, in our taps. Sometimes the water is unreliable, and that's why we are moving to this. But the way the consumption is increasing, it's unimaginable. Like, it's driving me nuts. Like, I go to someone's house and they are offering me these small bottles.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to add, we were also talking today about, how to purify water. So, there's some people who have gone back to the villages, right? Especially after the COVID time. So, there's this connect which we are trying to establish, to understand how they are learning things also.
Yeah.
So in terms of water purification, what can be done? Because even in city like Delhi also, the pipelines are mixing up. Navi Mumbai, very recently, 2 months back, we had a big issue. All children from schools, even my own son's school, everybody got unwell, the children, because there was a mix up of wastewater and, the regular water supply. So, I mean, this Fitkari alum is a good choice. And then moringa and coriander powder, if you Google it, there's a lot of choices. And I think, I was double boiling even filtered water because it was coming so bad. And for Mumbai, it's a very rare thing. It just happened in the last at least 16 years I've been in Navi Mumbai. First time it happened. But yeah, I mean, trying to talk about all these things because this is more important. Water is going to be a big issue with greenwashing and water together.
That was a discussed thing, and that was the first point we said we'll discuss. But of course, kya bole? So we did not get a chance to bring that in the long list. Thank you for bringing it. And all these it's cool to drink expensive or cool to do expensive things or cool to, it's just that. If you are not drinking out of that glass ki, that 400 rupees or 700 rupees ki bottle, then you are bichara. Oh, you don't even know some taste. Oh, you don't even have that class or whatever. Matke ka pani mein kya problem hai? आपके घर में कोई मेहमान आता है, पहले जैसे एक ट्रे में ग्लास में पानी लाते थे, और हम उनको बोलते हैं कि अब आप प्लास्टिक की बॉटल सजा के लाओ। हाउ इनसेंसिटिव, और हाउ इट्स लाइक नॉट वार्म कि आपके घर में कोई आया और आप उसको वो दो। इट्स सो डिटैच, इट्स नॉट वार्म। सो हमें वो सब सिखाना है लोगों को वापस से। वी आर स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम एबीसी अगेन,
Yeah.
एंड आई थिंक हम वो करते रहेंगे। We have Fabian who wants to say something. Yes, Fabian, please go ahead.
Ambily, the point about you made about campaigns being run, and the instance you gave about the one against the Gujarat incineration plant, which was this thing, but specifically to Gaia, and I know Gaia doesn't have a huge presence in India compared to the other Asia countries, but are there instances that you can think of by, say, a Gaia member or Gaia members where they've successfully used um, citizen social media, not through them, but like harness citizen power to change any of these greenwashing policies or campaigns, or things like you're talking about the Instagram guy who got people, come Cerelac to drop their sugar levels in, that kind of thing. Anything which has mass mobilized citizenry to change any part of any greenwashing instance that you can think of.
Not that I know of, but I also know that uh, our Indian members, they are going to work on this. I don't know how, in what form are they going to release it, because unfortunately they all said that they're not very good with social media and communications and ensuring that the right messaging reach the right people. But I think they are doing a research or a compendium of all the greenwashing solutions out there, just to educate the masses. I know any such thing that comes out from civil society, it is not as read, or it doesn't go as viral. I don't know how what to do about it. Even I am looking for ways to know ki kaise karte hain. But one of the project that they are jointly going to work on early next year onwards is to create a compendium of all these greenwashing things, because there is nothing out there, right? Like if I search for something, I don't find one. So 24-hour composters or incinerators, like,
Oh,
and with evidence and real feedback from people on what their experiences has been and so on. So they are planning to do that. Of course, it won't stop at one volume, because we have so many of that, and that compendium needs to be updated. But that is one thing that they have jointly decided, because I think most of them are facing this
Okay,
challenge or problem of
as a corollary, any such instance in any other country that you can think of which has utilized, which could possibly be replicated in India?
I mean, there are campaigns on incinerations and so which have been successful, where the company decided that they will not do it because they've been shamed so much. And so and they didn't really happen only on social media. It was a mix of them doing protest, and also writing it to the local mayors and so on. It was a combination of both. But whatever success stories that I know of are mostly on the incineration one, where they have tried to stop a new incinerator plant to come, or try to stop expansion of the same. But nothing on, at least I can't remember anything on greenwashing per se.
we will create one. That is
I
definitely.
was about to say we should set the example for other
We will do
countries.
that, because that's something
Why
very
not?
close to my heart. I'm so sick and tired of this 24 hours composter. Oh my God. And the way they confidently advertise when people buy it is just absurd. मतलब somebody believes कि 24 hour में composting हो सकती है. That itself is wild.
And they play with search engine optimization and all that, right? Like if you actually Google composting machine, this will come in the top result. That's because they know how to play with that and ensure that comes in the top. And a regular citizen whose idea is कि मेरे को waste compose करना है, will just go and pick it and purchase it. So I think that's where we need to use our combined brains to think what do we need to do and how do we become as effective like these people, bigger companies are in getting their message.
हमें एक fakeness index बनाना पड़ेगा, okay, and we'll work on it. We have to do that. उनको certificates मिलेंगे, stars या badges मिलेंगे. 98% fake, 99.9% fake, ऐसे करके something. But it is possible, and we shall all get together and do this because we cannot let this happen. This is just not right. It's actually not fair, and it's just it's a malpractice. Let's see. Marketing has always been used. Like I was in the advertising industry, I know that मैं जिस चीज का ad production में रहती थी, हम उस chocolate को बनाने के लिए क्या क्या use करते थे. It swirls and it looks so delicious, and the cinematographer is doing that. But we have used what all shampoo and other thickeners and all that stuff to make that chocolate look tempting and exciting and appealing. So एडवर्टाइजिंग एक बहुत बड़ा कल्प्रिट है. यस, लोगों को और क्या चाहिए? गुड, नाइस, अपनी लाइफ से बेटर कोई लाइफ, एंड कोई somebody is playing with those emotions. So हमको, आई थिंक वी हैव टू गेट बेटर एट SEO, like सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन. हमको वो सारा चीजें बहुत स्ट्रांग बनना पड़ेगा.
But I think which my hopeful be home, because when I'm seeing somebody like a food farmer, right? Like he comes from a good background. He started in a good school and so on. So I think that's one way he could like catch attention, and there was lawsuits against him, and still he continued fighting. That kind of gives me hope. Yes, if there could be one person, like he's still a single person, who is doing it now. Maybe he would have a team, but he could be that influence. People now do talk about him. People do read labels. People do know now कि ये sugary drinks हैं, ये इसको नहीं पीना चाहिए, and so on. So I don't know what, but I think now people consume content so much that if we find the right messaging and use the right tools, we will be able to reach the right people and get our message across.
We are all hopeful, and we should be hopeful and united actually, because अगर हम लोगों ने वो united approach से नहीं किया तो फिर we are nothing. But great. Thank you.
But I'll definitely share the compendium once it's released, because I think that will itself clarify confusions and doubts among a lot of public, and that itself will be that common ground ki हाँ, people have agreed कि ये सब तो false solutions हैं, or these are all greenwashing solutions, and we should straight away reject them.
We would like to be part of that. Whenever you are starting work on that, it'll be great, because by then we'll make a long list of all these bogus things, and happy to be part of that. Great. If anyone has any other questions, please do ask, or we'll say good night. It's already 20 minutes past our closing time. Thank you, Ambily. And it was lovely talking to you. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा था कि there's someone who feels passionately about these things. It's just not fair. And excuses. How long should we just say, they're doing good, this is for good? No. So that milk bag is another thing, ki wo collection, the EPR is like a very intense thing, lekin uske baare mein kuch clear nahi hai. There's nothing very clear. It's all goal. So हमें वो सब भी उस पे भी काम करना है कि that things are not goal. Things are very straightforward and absolutely articulated कि ऐसा ही है, ऐसा नहीं है. But until then, we shall.
EPR waste management पे सिर्फ तो खत्म ही नहीं होना चाहिए. EPR उस पे भी होना चाहिए कि आप अपनी आप कम करो. आप 2030 तक अगर आज की डेट में आप 1 टन पैकेजिंग रिलीज करते हो, 2030 it should be, half done. Like we should, those kind of things should also be there. सिर्फ वेस्ट ही मैनेज करते रहेंगे जिंदगी भर, हम फेंक रहे हैं वो मैनेज कर रहे हैं, मतलब it's like an endless thing, right? How are we coming out of this problem? If you give me something, I throw, then you manage, I throw, you manage it whatever way, but then we're not having a solution. We're still just going round and round in the same problem.
Absolutely. And the biggest challenge that each one of us is facing is कि जब आप single use bottle या कोई भी ऐसी चीज के बारे में बात करते हो, Pat comes the answer about how carbon intense is that process to make that thing. So they want to say that single use plastic is the cheapest and the best thing that God has ever created for human. And वो उसी में खुश रहो because it is recyclable. So 9% recyclable is of 2019 का figure. We don't know what is 2025 का figure, but 9 से 10% हो गया होगा. Is it 50% recycle हो रहा है? No. So they want a license to make more just in the name कि हाँ it is recyclable, but able, we don't know. And we know that it's not happening. So that's the thing. ये तो ऐसा टॉपिक है जिसके ऊपर हम कितने भी साल बात करेंगे तो कम होगा. But for today, we'll pause it and we'll let you have a little break from this mentally exhausting thing कि oh my god हम क्या करें.
But before I go, I just want to say that there is this ongoing negotiation for global plastic treaty. I'm not sure how many of you know it, but ये पिछले 3 साल से चल रहा है जिसमें सारे countries आते हैं and then they decide कि क्या करना है plastic का and so on. And then there are countries like India, US, who are clear or saying that they don't want to reduce the production of plastic. हम तो production करते रहेंगे, हम waste management में देख लेंगे. And last negotiation में 100+ countries came together and said no, we want something which ensures that हमारे plastics में harmful chemicals नहीं हो, हमारे plastic production धीरे धीरे कम हो, because plastic is something that we cannot have it all our life, right? We need to have better solutions. And it's so hopeful to see that 100+ countries are against these 5-6 powerful countries, right? US, India, Russia, Saudi Arabia, who are like very clear that plastic production to hota hi rahega. And this August, we were hoping that we will have a legally binding treaty that all the countries will have to follow. But these powerful countries didn't let that happen.
Yeah.
But these stronger, ambitious countries, they said कि हम ऐसा treaty नहीं चाहते जो weak हो. So we will stay strong. We will ensure that something happens, but we will not ensure that a poor treaty comes. So I'm very happy क्योंकि जो climate negotiations, Paris negotiations हुए थे, they were so bad. उससे कुछ किसी का कुछ नहीं हुआ है. आज तक हम बस बातें ही कर रहे हैं. But at least now people, as I said, are more aware, more conscious. So even these countries have decided कि हमें झुकना नहीं है इन पेट्रोकेमिकल कंट्रीज जो चाहते हैं कि प्लास्टिक का प्रोडक्शन होता रहे. वी विल एंश्योर दैट वी विल stay strong, we will stand united, so that these powerful companies don't run over us and ensure that plastic production happens and someone will manage the waste. We will ensure that that does not happen. So that was very hopeful, something that कि हाँ, something good is happening.
Yeah. मतलब हमको सिल्वर लाइनिंग देखनी है और 100 versus 5 or odd single digit, but yeah, that is how powerful tactics work, but we shall someday. Thank you. Thank you for your time and thank you for your passionate sharing. Really appreciate that and all the best. May you be able to do much more than this. And we all together, we have to raise our voices and stop whatever is happening, not just be quiet, mute spectators and consumers and think about कि हम कल करेंगे. Today is the day that you have to do it. Thank you, Ambily. And thank you
so much
for joining.
for inviting, and thank you everyone. It's 9 o'clock, but still you're here. That means how passionate you are about this topic. Thank you so much.
Love it. We love Kachra and we love to talk about it and we want to resolve it. It's just not about talking. हमें कुछ तो करना है जिसको हम resolve कर सकें. it's just everywhere. We are breathing, we are living, we are eating it. So I think this is the least we can do. Ki samjhe and bring to our uh, learning, add to our learning. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.